I will work over the IBDP Biology IA draft for anonymous student M. When I look at this to start with, I'd be looking at this going, well, how is this measured? Is this SDI? Is this number of species, number of individuals? It's unclear. Meanders, where is that? It could be anywhere in the world. Coming down here, looking at this, small, probably a microhabitat's better. Do they really react? I would argue that they're intolerant of. Looking at your background information, maybe you need to add something about the specific stream. Now we're at the research question. The big thing is, where are we talking about? Is this somewhere in tropical Asia or tropical island, the desert? Need some details about location and time. Looking at this, I would have to ask, what is all this space? My guess, you pushed enter, 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 enter to get this table to the start of the next page. Get rid of all of those, click at the front and hit Control and Enter or Command Enter on a Mac. Looking at this, how? I have no idea. Look at this. How again? Fill these in to make sure these details are here. Oops. Within what? More details. Relate this to the number of invertebrates, since that's what we're talking about here. It's not really clear yet. Sampling method, for how long? No details. And then, one of my pet hates, there is a gap in the table. If you need to, because it's too long, then you would make sure that this bit was at the top of each page. However, in this case, there's only 2 lines. You need to start the table on a new page so the whole table stays together. Remember, now we're looking at a word count, not a page count. So that is not a problem to do. Looking here, bit of work to do yet. The bare bones are here, but we need to do more. Firstly, 2 parts of the river were selected based on excessive. What does this mean? Give some details. If you have a couple of photos you can put in here as well, that would be a big help. Now, your rectangle areas, specify, was that up and down the river and across? I believe so. Your readers won't know. Looking at step 5, is this not still part of step 4? It's the prompt for it. Now, why is there a decimal place here? You and I know. The readers do not know this. So make sure they do. Tell them. Approximately 5 to 10. No. Figure out what you did and give us a number that is what you did. Step 7, how deep? I thought there was a window so that depth was not another contributing factor. How long? I'm sure there was a time. All of these things you know, but they're not here yet. Now, if I come back here, okay, brilliant. However, there's one problem. You have not gone to the first random coordinate. I look at sequencing here. Really, are these 2 in the right order? You decide that after having a look. At 12, through having 20 samples. Make sure that's clear. That's probably each. Come on, your grammar, read it again, make sure you do it. When I look at this, surely this is the safety, ethics and environment section. Needs to be moved there. What was the protocol if one of your random coordinates was too deep or too shallow? What did you do? Did you ignore it? Did you use an extra site for random coordinates? It's unclear here. Is this number of individuals, number of species? It's unclear. Please make sure it is clear. Again, I like that you've put the header in on this page so the table can continue, but how I look at it, I think it'd be much better to come up to here, Control Enter and start a new page so your whole table is together. Coming here, really, you've got a lot of words here that you probably don't need. Make it clearer. Nobody's going to go, oh, they forgot a trend line. It's very clear for your readers. Now, when I look at this, you and I know where it's from. No one else does. There's no citation. I believe it'll be better to park this in an appendix if you want to keep it and put this in your own words. So it's your work, your test, your words. Okay, you did this at the 95% level. Not really well clear, otherwise well written. When I read this, linear, Spearman's, the whole idea of using Spearman's is for non-linear patterns. You will use Pearson's for linear, so I think this section needs to be revisited to make it more correct. This contradicts your finding from your Spearman's test. Spearman's test said no statistically discernible differences. I would suggest graph it, state there could be a pattern, then show the Spearman's to say, well, evidence says there's not. If we'd done more repeats, we might have seen one. When we look at this, there are two strands to your evaluation. One strand is for the problem. Okay, we've got that covered. The second strand is for how to fix it. You've got your problems here, your fixes down here. To me, that's broken up a bit. I would narrow the columns, add one up here, basically on how am I going to improve or fix these problems. Will not be this narrow. Everything can be narrowed in. You could even potentially, because of your organization, put it here. But move your improvements from down here to be on the same table so your problems and improvements fit together nicely. Okay, we come down to the conclusion. Introduction, and we can conclude what? Start with it. This is the bit where I would be saying, if more sampling, then you might well see that pattern. Now again, strand 1 of this criteria is to write about the results, the stats, the overlap and error bars, etc., anything else, distance of points from a trend line, whatever you need to do so that you've done that. And that's the piece you've addressed. The second strand, the other half, is where you compare to published literature. And I see this as missing, which means your maximum already is 50% or 3 out of 6. This is the thing you need to add in, compare to published sources. Now, coming down to here, we use MLA in our school, which means that's called a works cited. These should also be in alphabetical order. They're clearly not all of them. So number 1, the title. Number 2, alphabetical order. And finally, the last thing, well, 2 more things actually. 3, format hanging. Look it up if you don't know, but get it right. And number 4, any sites, you've got to have a link and an access date. All of these I see missing. None of them are that hard to fix, so that your works cited becomes what it needs to be.